Hello and welcome to Love Advice TV. My name is Coach Adrian and I am delighted to be able to do this video for you. As you know, this is a channel where we address topics related to individuals that are coming out of relationships or marriages and are looking for ways to repair that broken relationship. And a lot of the topics that we address are questions from viewers just like you who leave questions in the comment section that we then pick up on and do videos to address your most pressing concern. And the topic of this video comes from a comment where an individual said, "My ex-girlfriend is hot and cold." And he didn't understand why his ex-girlfriend had this hot and cold behavior. And I figured that it was time to do a video to address this once and for all. So why do exes in general are hot and cold, especially when they're the ones that are breaking up with you? Because in the majority of cases that we deal with, it's the other party that has decided to end the relationship. First things first, just because a breakup happens does not mean that this person doesn't love you anymore. And this might sound like an oxymoron to a lot of people who have not been present on this channel or who have not seen our videos. But the reality is that in many cases, breakups happen not because of a lack of love, but because of a lack of trust and because of a lack of happiness. Couples end up together, the honeymoon phase ends, and you're stuck in the reality of an everyday relationship, where you have to deal with your partner's imperfections, the pressures of life, perhaps families, and ultimately you realize that you're in a relationship with someone and you're not fulfilled. And so you decide to break up, especially for those that are in their early to late 20s. Oftentimes, you break up for more freedom and independence, not because you are not in love with your significant other. And so what are the implications there? Well, if you break up with someone that you still love, you're going to be jealous. You're going to be insecure. You're perhaps not going to want them to move on. And so it's possible that your partner, your girlfriend or your ex-girlfriend in this case, will continue to try to rope you back in by being warm in order to get some validation, a sense that you still care, that they could still have you if they wanted to. While at the same time, they're going to be cold and they're going to set boundaries to try to basically convey to you that their decision is for real, that they're serious about it, and so that you don't continuously try to test them. Because a lot of times that's what happens after a breakup. You don't want to take no for an answer, or you're trying to convince them to take you back, and so you beg, you plead, you try to rationalize their decision, and they are forced to put barriers and to be cold and to push you away. So on one hand, in one instance, they're pushing you away, telling you that it's over forever, they're sure, there's no chance. And on the other, they may be sending you mixed signals, perhaps by posting on social media a sad song or a quote that relates to your love story, or a picture that you took, or basically by blatantly conveying to you directly through a message that they want to see you, or that they still care, or asking you how you're doing, or engaging in the same things that you guys used to engage when you were together. Which leads me to my next point. Just because a breakup happens doesn't mean that old habits have all of a sudden disappeared. A lot of times, people continue to be on autopilot of sorts, and they continue with similar habits and communication flows and styles as if the relationship, had not ended. And so it can be very confusing to you on one hand, because this person is telling you that they don't love you, and on the other, because they're continuing to act like your girlfriend when they're not. Either way, you should not be fazed by your significant other's behavior. Because if you've been paying attention and if you've been fighting the good fight and watching our videos on Love Advice TV, you know that it's not about them, it is about you. It is about focusing on what you can control. It is about establishing a plan to help you with your process of healing and your process of personal transformation, so that eventually, as you start to set the tempo, as you start to evolve, as you start to regain a sense of confidence, a sense of well-being, they will start to change the way that they see you, change the way that they perceive the relationship, what you have to offer, and a potential future together. In essence, that is how we rebuild trust and how we show them that you guys can be happy together. So even if your significant other is displaying hot and cold behavior at this time, the reality is that you can still win them back. And instead of focusing on what they're doing, which is what you're doing by watching this video or by having been intrigued by this notion of hot and cold behavior, instead you need to take a step back and go back to the fundamentals of a healthy breakup recovery process, and to focus on the things that you can control and the things that will help you be that best version of yourself. Obviously, it's not easy. A breakup, I should say, is one of the most challenging periods of your life. But it's also an amazing opportunity. It's an opportunity to redefine what is important, who you are, where you're going to spend your energies, and to spend this time on you, on nurturing you, because you deserve it. So I hope this was helpful. And if you have questions about hot and cold behavior, leave them in the comment section below so that we can address perhaps specific questions that were not addressed in this video. As always, please give me a thumbs up if you learned something, if you enjoyed this video, so that I can continue to come into the studio and do more of these videos for you. The more you give love, the more I give love back by doing these videos, because I know that it resonates. Keep fighting the good fight, my dear friends, and see you soon on Love Advice TV for yet another video. Much love.